On to the Tribal Council business meeting of March the 21st of 2024. If we would, Mr. Graylin Mitchell, if you would give us the invocation. All right. If everybody remains standing, Mr. Homer, if you do the Pledge of Allegiance. All right, Miss Pam, if you do the preamble.
In accordance with the inherent power of self-governance of the Lumbee Tribe of North Carolina, the tribe adopts this Constitution for the purposes of establishing a tribal government structure, preserving for all time the Lumbee way of life and community, promoting the educational, cultural, social, and economic being of the Lumbee people, and securing justice and freedom for the Lumbee people.
You may be seated. Miss Nancy, if you do the roll call.
Present. Here. Here.
Here.
Here.
Here.
Here.
Here.
Here.
Here.
Here.
Here. Here.
All right, I'm going to read the ethics statement. In accordance with the Ethics and Conflict of Interest Ordinance 2010-0312-01, amended March 12, 2010, it's the duty of every council member to avoid both apparent and perceived conflicts of interest with regard to any matters before the council in this business meeting. So please refrain from participation in those deliberations. All documents that require council action are considered confidential and shall not be disseminated until after a vote by full council. Welcome everyone out tonight to the business meeting, but before we get started, we'll do a little housekeeping rules. If everyone would please silence their cell phones. I'd like to recognize a couple people tonight. We have the tribal administrator, Mr. Ricky Harris, finance director, Ms. Sharon Bell, and we have Mr. Ronnie Bell, which serves on our health board for the tribe, and Ms. Taylor, she is a ER person, and I think we used to have a prior council member, Mr. Gerald Locklear, and our tribal attorney, Mr. Daniel Locklear. And Miss Beasley, Dr. Beasley. And Miss Wendy just told me that she's going to be the director of the Health and Human Services Department for the tribe. All right, the next on the agenda, we need a review and approval of the agenda.
Mr. Speaker, I'd like to make a motion. I'd like to remove CLLR 2024032101, reappointment of Mr. Larice Hunt back to the CNO committee. All applicants have been reviewed.
In favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any noes? We got 2 noes, Miss Pam Hunt, 3, Mr. Billy Oxendine and Miss Chakawana Oxendine and Mr. Larry Souls.
Mr. Summon, what's the purpose of sending it back to the committee?
there were some other applicants that needed to be reviewed. They wanted to send it back to committee for that. Yes.
I know he's the parliamentarian, but it passed, so discussion on it.
Or anything?
Mr. Speaker,
Yes, Ms. Wynn.
I'd like to make a motion to add to the agenda CLLR-2024-0321-02, which is 2024 Tribal Council redistricting maps.
There's a second.
A second.
Right. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Are there any noes? One no, Mr. Billy Oxendine.
I have to cast a no. I have not seen the revisions. Last I heard, folks were supposed to come in and meet with Matt Roller to make some revisions and tweaks. I have not seen that, so I'm a no until those new maps are shared with us.
I'd like to change my vote to no also.
So we're gonna do a roll call on that situation. Hold on a second. Is there any discussion before we go into voting?
Yes, sir. How can we do a resolution and we ain't got all the information in front of us?
My understanding is that we're just discussing, bringing it up for discussion in council. It was not to vote on any districts because, quite frankly, folks, we don't have any districts. Is that does that suffice as a point of clarification?
Mr. Baker?
When we voted in the committee, we were voting on those maps so that we could take those draft maps, because we were only voting on draft maps so we could take those maps into our communities and hold discussion with our communities, is what I understood. But I also understood there was some districts that wanted to be able to go in and further refine their boundary, particularly one in my understanding is that council member has done that. And so I don't know what that did the boundary change? If nothing changed, if it remained the same, I'm in support of approving the drafts that we looked at that day. But if it changed any at all, I think that that needs to come back and we need to talk about how that changed before I take that map into my community.
Can I answer that?
Ms. Wendy?
Councilman Baker, I was doing this as a courtesy to the CNO chairman, so I would request that you direct that to the CNO chairman because I was under the impression this was not to be voted on with regard to finalization.
Any other discussion before we do a roll call? Miss Nancy? This is to add it to the agenda. You want to add it, it's a yes. If you don't want to add it, it's a no.
No. No.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes. No.
Yes.
That item is added to the agenda. Okay. All right. Can we get a motion to approve the agenda with added changes?
Mr. Speaker, I make a motion to approve the agenda with added changes.
Second.
All in favor, let it known by saying aye.
Aye.
Any noes? Can I get a review and approval of February Tribal Council minutes and actions?
So moved. Second.
All in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Any noes? All right. So the next item on the agenda is a presentation with the Magnolia Beta Club. They called 2 hours ago and they had to reschedule that. So we're gonna move on down to Dr. Cherry Beasley and Dr. Ronnie Bill. And I think I'm gonna turn it over to Mr. Jody Bullard for now.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. This time I'd like to ask Dr. Terry Beasley and Dr. Ronnie Bill step to the center of the room, please. As many doesn't know, these folks, what I consider pillars of the community, especially on the medical side. These guys, these lady and gentlemen doctors have been in our communities across the nation, putting footprints in the sand, not only for Robinson County, but Native Americans all over the country. Just recently, Dr. Ronnie Bell was appointed to the National Advisory Minority Health Committee, and he is the only Lumbee that's ever held that seat. And as many as everyone knows, Dr. Beasley has been in our community and doing so much work for our Indians. And I just could not pass this opportunity up, but to recognize her also for the work that she's doing, has done, and will do for the Native Americans in the community. She also sits on the state Health Minority Advisory Board. The first Lumbee ever to do that. And so at this time, I'd like to present Dr. Bill. Dr. Beasley, just thank you for your work done for us, and she will do. Thank you. Hill Committee members, if you want to come down and take a photo with them, that'd be great. We only got one since the other ones are out. Okay.
All right, next on the agenda, we have a presentation by Mr. Anthony Peavy. He is the Director of Housing and Development.
Okay. All right. So again, I say thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for this opportunity. As an organization, we're trying to do a better job of telling our story and out to our tribal members on the work that's being done, because if you're not in that district, typically you don't know what's going on. So we put a project update video together to give an idea of everything that's going on in the development side for the Lumbee tribe. And we want to start presenting this to your community meetings, but we wanted to bring it to the council first and let you guys see it. And then, of course, you get an idea of where we are. And then when budgets comes up, you get a visual, you got an idea of where we are and what's going on, what's taking place, and where we're going. So this time we're going to start our video. It's about 9 minutes. So I hope you enjoy it.
Bear Creek subdivision, located in Parkton, North Carolina, is a development on a 10-acre tract that will consist of 12 to 15 homes, geared to provide homeownership opportunity for Lumbee tribal members. Sherall Acres, located in the Blue Spring community of Hope County, is a subdivision that currently houses 23 Lumbee tribal members and their families. The second phase of this development will consist of 20 lots on a 10-acre tract in efforts to continue to provide safe and affordable housing with homeownership opportunities for Lumbee tribal members. Pine Needles Senior Village, located in Roland, North Carolina, is a 16-acre tract development designed to provide safe and affordable housing for senior Lumbee tribal members. This development will consist of 23 two-bedroom, one-bath, single-family homes. It will also include a 3,200 square foot administrative building designed for site management and community outreach programs. Dreamcatcher Union Chapel, located in the Union Chapel community, was opened on July 14, 2022. This development has 15 rental units and is the first of 3 Dreamcatcher communities designed to provide safe, affordable housing for our Lumbee tribe members. Dreamcatcher Raynham, located in Raynham, North Carolina, is the second of 3 Dreamcatcher communities. This 26-acre tract will house 30 single-family homes designed to provide safe and affordable rental housing for Lumbee tribal members. This site will also include a 3,200 square foot administrative building designated for community outreach programs and site management. Dreamcatcher Arrow Point, located in Pembroke, North Carolina, is the third and final phase of the Dreamcatcher communities. This development will consist of 12 single-family homes designed to provide safe and affordable rental housing for Lumbee tribe members. Warriors Way Veteran Village, located in Raynham, North Carolina, was opened on May 26, 2022. This development has 10 homes and will house Lumbee veterans that served in the U.S. Armed Forces through our Hood Badge program. The village at Two Feathers, located in the Allerton community of Lumberton, North Carolina, is an elder site designed to provide safe and affordable housing for senior Lumbee tribal members. This site recently added its fourth duplex in October of 2023 and now houses 8 senior Lumbee tribal members. Plans for construction for its fifth and final duplex will take place in the fourth quarter of 2024. District 3 Development is a proposed elder site located on Dunn Road in Lumberton, North Carolina. This 16-acre tract will consist of 72 housing units, in which 36 will be designated for Lumbee tribal members only. The Dunn Road project will provide safe and sanitary housing for senior Lumbee tribal members. District 10 land acquisition is a 10-acre tract acquired in June of 2023 in the Renner community. This proposed elder site will consist of 16 to 18 housing units that will provide safe and affordable housing for our senior Lumbee tribal members. Candy Park Development, located in the town of Pembroke, North Carolina, is a 93-acre tract that currently houses Pembroke Senior Village, a 24-unit development that provides safe and affordable rental housing for senior Lumbee tribal members. The second phase of this development, which is planned to begin in the first quarter of 2025, will consist of 30 single-family homes that will allow for homeownership opportunities for Lumbee tribal members. Southern Spirit Nature Trail is a 1,200 linear feet walking trail designed to promote healthy living for the Hilly Branch community. This walking trail will also provide a safe haven for community outreach and family gatherings. The Lumbee Tribe of North Carolina Culture Center is a 390-acre tract of land located in Maxton, North Carolina. This property was acquired back from the state of North Carolina in 2014 and continues to serve as a common place to promote the arts, history, heritage, as well as recreation opportunities for the Lumbee people. The Culture Center consists of the Adolph Dahl Amphitheater that showcases several events as well, to include the annual production of Strike at the Wind. It also includes an aquatic center, a basketball court, and a volleyball court, which allows for healthy living and family events for tribal members. The Culture Center is also the home of the Lumbee Tribe of North Carolina Stickball Field, which allows for tribal members to participate in a sporting event that was used to showcase tribal dominance dating back to the early 1700s. This field also serves as the primary location for the Lumbee Tribe of North Carolina annual Dance of the Harvest Moon Powwow. Plans to remodel this amphitheater and stickball field will take place in March of 2024. The Lumbee Tribe of North Carolina Material Warehouse just recently added a 26,000 square foot secure parking lot. This parking lot will provide a safe and secure location to house Lumbee tribal assets.
As you can see in the video, I know a lot of times we get asked the question, you know, where are we at with properties we just acquired? But it's typically about a year and a half to 2 year process just to get the infrastructure. We want to do a timestamp video to give you, ladies and gentlemen, an idea of, you know, the construction process and the time are facing outside of just normal budgeting. But at this any time, any questions on the video? Thank you for your time. Yes, sir. You decided you didn't want to do one lot.
It's 24 counting the community building, right?
Yeah, it's 23 homes though.
Anthony, we appreciate everything you're doing.
Thank you.
All right. Next on the agenda, we have the chairman's report that'll be given by Mr. Ricky Harris, the tribal administrator. All right. Okay. Thank you. So we'll move on to our business. We'll go down to the committee reports, and we'll start with Miss Pam Hunt.
I'll yield to Mr. Ricky. He's coming around. Coming right through that door.
Just a few. Chairman is presently in Washington working on recognition. Wants to thank you guys for the gala and stuff to give us some funds to make that trip. Him and Tammy's been up there this week working on that. We are in the process of starting the budget. Okay, so we're working on that. Culture Center, within the next month, we should be working on the seats and the concrete. We have plans for Strike at the Wind to be July the 18th, 19th, and 20th, 25th, 26th, and 27th. 6 shows, 2 following weekends. We probably will be able to announce at the next meeting about the scholarship that we mentioned to you. We're on good tracks with that. And the final thing, get the approval of finance committee. About all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Right. I think we have a question, Mr. Bill.
Mr. Rick, security. We don't have any kind of cameras up there at Culture Center.
Yes, sir. When we get in place, we'll have security.
No, Mr. Gooseby.
Yeah, Mr. Ricky, some time back, there was a drawing that was council culture center, wild field and all that. Is it available? Or are we working on it towards that fund?
Are you referring to the plans for the amphitheater, the set of plans that we're reconstructing the amphitheater to?
Yeah, well, there was a colored drawing of the powwow circle and I guess the end result.
Okay, you're talking about a rendering. Yeah, we have a rendering still of the entire site.
Yeah, rendering of it. Yeah,
yes, sir. Yeah.
Any other questions for Mr. Ricky before we move forward to business? Thank you, Mr. All right, we'll move down to finance, Ms. Pam Hunt.
Good evening. We have four finance items tonight. The first one is the CLO 2024-0321-01, which is the Cultural Center project. This is monies that we've been awarded by the state to carry out just what he talked about, the amphitheater and things that are going on at Cultural Center. This budget is a $2,950,000 budget that's been given us by the state for the purpose of the Cultural Center. And I'll itemize it for you at this time. $115,748 in salaries. That's for maintenance workers and agricultural. For just have to man the cultural center. The fringe benefits for that salary is $48,287. Indirect and admin cost is $295,000. Contract services, $201,000. The actual cultural center project with the upgrades budget is $2,239,965, and general upkeep $1,000. And I'll start with sixth whereas. Whereas the Lumbee Tribe of North Carolina is in receipt of a grant from the state of North Carolina an amount of $2,950,000. And whereas the grant will be administered to carry out the Cultural Center Amphitheater project, therefore be it enacted by the Tribal Council of the Lumbee Tribe of North Carolina, the following ordinance shall be cited as the Cultural Center project state grant budget, subject to all inclusions and provisions as stated by the grantor.
Thank you, Ms. Pam. Coming from committee, it does not require a second. Is there any discussion before we vote? Roll call, Ms. Nancy.
Billy Outsinine,
Yes.
Braylon Mitchell,
Yes.
Gerald Gooseby,
Yes.
Harold Smith,
Yes.
Ham Hunt, J.D. Bullard,
Yes.
Wendy Moore,
Yes.
Karen Locklear, Larry Chavous,
Yes.
Christy Hunt, Nancy Locklear, yes, Siobhan Dahl,
Yes.
Rudy Locklear,
Yes.
Kathy Hunt, Joy McNeil,
Yes.
Bobby Manuel,
Yes.
Takawan Outsinine,
Yes.
Josephine Dawes, Larry Souls,
Yes.
Alex Baker,
Yes.
Alma Field.
Yes.
Thank you. We turn it back over to Ms. Pam again.
Our second ordinance for tonight is CLO 2024-0321-02. And this is the Dunn Road project funding budget in which we anticipate building affordable housing for our members on the Dunn Road in Lumberton, which is right behind Lumbee Bank and Food Line on West Fifth Street. And these revenues it's grant revenues of $10 million. And I'll start with fifth whereas. Whereas the Tribal Council of the Lumbee Tribe of North Carolina reserves the right to amend the budget upon the chairman's recommendation as deemed appropriate to maintain a balanced budget. Whereas the Lumbee Tribe of North Carolina will be subrecipient of a grant from Robeson County Administration to leverage construction of the Dunn Road Elderly Site Project in the amount of $10 million. Whereas the grant will be administered as described in the budget below, and therefore be it enacted by the Tribal Council of the Lumbee Tribe of North Carolina, following ordinance shall be cited as the Dunn Road project, subject to all inclusions and provisions as stated by the awarding agency.
Coming from committee does not require a second. Is there any discussion before we do a roll call?
I
Boozley?
do.
Just one question. This is just credit, correct? Correct. Okay, thank
Mr. Baker?
Um, did administration, last time I looked at this, we didn't negotiate a developer's fee. Since we're developing this project, that would be a source of unrestricted funds. I think we should negotiate a developer's fee for this project.
Any other discussion? Nancy, if you do the roll call.
Billy Oxnine,
Yes.
Sheila Mitchell,
Yes.
Carol Gooseby,
Yes.
Harold Smith,
Yes.
Pam Hunt,
Yes.
Jody Bullard,
Yes.
Mindy Moore,
Yes.
Carrington Locklear, Larry Chavis,
Yes.
Christy Hunt, Nancy Locklear, yes, Siobhan Dobb,
Yes.
Rudy Locklear,
Yes.
Kathy Hunt, Joey McNeil,
Yes.
Bobby Emanuel, Takawana Oxnine,
Yes.
Josephine Dawes,
Yes.
Larry Souls, Alex Baker,
Yes.
Homer Fields.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Right, we'll call on Miss Pam again.
Thank y'all for that. Next ordinance is CLOO-2022-1117-05, NC Office of Administration Budget Ordinance. This is dealing with our agricultural budget, our newly developed, or recently developed, I shouldn't say it's not new anymore. The grant is for $500,000. That includes the amendments to this is an additional $84,401.82 for salaries, and payroll taxes will be increased by $28,125.04. We're taking $5,389.96 out of, decreasing the administrative services line item, increasing the supply line item by $38,000, increasing office furniture by $17,810.06. We're adding, neglected to put money in for utilities, so we're putting $5,500 in for that. Occupancy cost will be an additional $22,000 added. We're taking $76,493.30 out of equipment and capital outlay. We're decreasing the outreach line item in the amount of $2,333.51, and that will give us, these amendments will balance the budget out for $500,000. And I'll read from the fifth whereas. Whereas Tribal Council has authority and fiduciary responsibility to ensure compliance with program funding and allocations. And whereas the Lumbee Tribal Budget North Carolina Office of Administration Budget Ordinance will provide agricultural resources to our Native American communities, and therefore it be enacted by the Tribal Council of the Lumbee Tribe of North Carolina, the following ordinance shall be cited as NC Office of Administration Budget Ordinance amended, subject to all inclusions and provisions.
Coming from committee, it does not require a second. Is there any discussion? Mr. Bill?
How many people in that salary, Pam?
Any other discussion? Roll call, Miss Nancy.
Biatson,
Yes.
Braden Mitchell,
Yes.
Gerald Gooseby,
Yes.
Earl Smith,
Yes.
Pam Hunt,
Yes.
Jody Bullard,
Yes.
Mindy Moore,
Yes.
Carrington Locklear, Larry Chavous,
Yes.
Christy Hunt, Nancy Locklear, yes. Siobhan Dahl,
Yes.
Rudy Locklear,
Yes.
Kathy Hunt, Joy McNeil,
Yes.
Bobby Emanuel,
Yes.
Chakawana Otsenheim,
Yes.
Josephine Dawes,
Yes.
Larry Souls,
Yes.
Alex Baker, Homer Fields.
Yes.
Thank you. And last, Miss Pam.
So our last ordinance is CLLO 2023-0921-02. This is the fiscal year October 1, 2023 through September 30th, 2024 Lumbee Tribal Budget Ordinance. And this is some amendments requested by the Vocational Rehab Program. So we're adding $1,562 to services to consumers. We're taking $1,000, increasing that line item by $1,000. We are adding, okay. We're increasing the communications line item by $4,238. They're decreasing our office lease by $4,800, and that is all the amendments. The total budget for this project is $560,568. And I'll read from the fourth whereas. Whereas the tribal council is responsible for oversight and review of all budget components. Whereas the tribal council has authority and fiduciary responsibility to ensure compliance with program funding and allocations, and therefore it be enacted by the tribal council of the Lumbee Tribe of North Carolina, the following ordinance cited as fiscal year October 1, 2023 through September 30th, 2024 Lumbee Tribal Budget Ordinance amended, subject to all inclusions and provisions.
Coming from committee, it does not require a second. Is there any discussion? Miss Nancy, roll call.
Billy Otsenheim,
Yes.
Braylon Mitchell,
Yes.
Gerald Gooseby,
Yes.
Earl Smith,
Yes.
Pam Hunt,
Yes.
Jody Bullard, Mindy Moore,
Yes.
Carrington Locklear, Larry Chavous,
Yes.
Christy Hunt, Nancy Locklear, yes. Yvonne Dahl,
Yes.
Rudy Locklear,
Yes.
Kathy Hunt, Joy McNeil,
Yes.
Bobby Emanuel,
Yes.
Chakawana Otsenheim,
Yes.
Josephine Dawes,
Yes.
Larry Souls,
Yes.
Alex Baker,
Yes.
Homer Fields.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Next committee report would be Constitution and Ordinance, Mr. Rudy Locklear.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I don't have a lot of items on our Constitution Ordinance Committee agenda. I do apologize for being late. I was made aware that one of our items that made it out of committee was voted on tonight to be removed from the agenda. So that, what I've been told, is going back to Constitution reference from it to future meeting affairs. Is that correct? So that's one item that will be removed. The first item on our agenda is the duties and decorum. So as voted on in committee, section, you should have a copy or printout for standing rules and orders. Committee voted to remove a section specifically as it related to our virtual meetings. So the only item that was added section was all council and committee meetings must be held in person. With that being, and the items listed, the only thing that we included was approval of some verbiage to include these meetings can be held via the virtual method outlined in ordinance LO 2101, virtual usage for meeting meetings. That ordinance outlines how those types of meetings. That was the only thing that came out of committee as far as modifying our standing rules. So full council approve that section. This will become our most up-to-date version of our ordinance. March 20.
All right, thank you. Coming from committee, that does not require a second. Is there any discussion? Mr. Bill?
Rude. I thought we were gonna put it in red what we talked about.
It is. Did you give him a copy of this? Okay, my copy's in red. I'm sorry. I want to take a look at it. And have the copy.
Any other discussion before we do a roll call? Roll call, Miss Nancy.
Billy Oxnine,
Yes.
Braylon Mitchell,
Yes.
Gerald Gooseby,
Yes.
Earl Smith,
Yes.
Pam Hunt,
Yes.
Jody Bullard,
Yes.
Wendy Moore,
Yes.
Carrington Locklear, Larry Chavez,
Yes.
Christy Hunt, Nancy Locklear, no. Yvonne Daw,
Yes.
Rudy Locklear,
Yes.
Kathy Hunt, Joy McNeil,
Yes.
Bobby Emanuel,
Yes.
Lackawanna Oxnine,
Yes.
Josephine Dawes,
Yes.
Larry Souls,
Yes.
Alex Baker,
Yes.
Homer Fields.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Next, we have Mr. Rudy Locklear.
Thank you. The next item on our agenda is the reappointment to Commission Meeting Affairs, as noted.
We'll back up a minute. That's been taken off the agenda. So the next item on the agenda is the 2024 Tribal Council redistricting maps.
Right. Thank you. As I was saying, since that's been taken off the agenda, moving on. Next item would have been the Tribal Council redistricting maps. So it's been brought to my attention tonight that this was also added to the agenda. But when it came out of committee, the motion was made, as it's been brought to my attention tonight, that maps were to be accepted and any modifications would be entertained prior to the next meeting. That was what came out of committee. So given that, I've been notified tonight that there were modifications made to the draft that was voted on in committee. That being, we do not have a final draft, as I've been notified by the tribal administrator. So I'm requesting that this item be back to
So moved.
I'll second.
Is there any discussion before we do a vote? Mr. Gerald?
Do we have a print of that map tonight?
committee. No, sir.
Can we get a print of that? No?
All right, we're going to do a roll call to send this back to committee. Miss Nancy?
Billy Oxnine,
Yes.
Braylon Mitchell,
Yes.
Gerald Gooseby,
Yes.
Earl Smith,
Yes.
Pam Hunt,
Yes.
Jody Bullard,
Yes.
Wendy Moore,
Yes.
Carrington Locklear, Larry Chavez,
Yes.
Christy Hunt, Nancy Locklear, yes. Yvonne Daw,
Yes.
Rudy Locklear,
Yes.
Kathy Hunt. Joey McNeil,
Yes.
Bobby Emanuel,
Yes.
Tucker-One Oxenine,
Yes.
Josephine Dawes,
Yes.
Larry Souls,
Yes.
Alex Baker,
Yes.
Homer Fields. Motion carried.
All right, thank you. So next on the agenda is community comments. When you come to the podium for community comments, please state your name and your district. And just a reminder that the council cannot speak back during this time, and you are allowed 3 minutes for your comments. And also remember to press, when you come to the podium, to make sure you press that mic and it should light up red. So next, we have Mr. Gerald Locklear.
Speaker, I'm from District 8. I'm here to talk about we call it's a burnt swamp community building. A lot of them reacts toward the Union Chapel community, but it's actually burnt swamp community building. This building was built in 1972 by 5 gentlemen in our area. They decided they wanted to do something for our community so we could handle the activities. So that's what they done. They spent all these years. And yeah, we couldn't able to make our payment during that time. Then they'd make it. But I finally made the last payment on it years ago, a few years back. But what I'm here for tonight, we have a group that come and they wanted the building tore down. They wanted to give it to the tribe. Let the tribe tear it down. There's going to be an administration that building out there. So they got to having meetings, and nobody knew about the meetings. So we just found out. And when we had the meeting, when the tribe come out there, all of them, the tribe was telling them things that actually weren't true. I found out weren't the truth. And they were talking about they need administration building out there. I called HUD. HUD said you do not have to have administration building out there. So we're asking the council and all, we want you to, if you don't need a building out there, leave our building alone. And the group, this building owns about 1,800 people in this community own this building, all races. So 40 people voting to tear this building down, that is not legal. It takes a percentage to get this building torn down, and you can't have a vote. It'll take 2 months probably to organize this to have a vote, even if you wanted to vote on with all them people, because a lot don't have Facebook. They don't get the paper. They don't go to church if you go like that, so it'd be hard to notify everybody. But the ones that have it, they have a building. They have a like a gym and a recreation and all that. They never use this building. They have their own facilities. So why come down and want to tear ours down? And we worked hard for it. So we're asking that y'all vote that we keep our building, just leave us alone. Y'all don't need that building. HUD said you don't need one out there. So that's what we're asking the council of y'all. Please leave us alone, because we worked hard for this building. It's 72. I have time and money in this building. And I've got out there and worked hard for this building. So I'm asking y'all to leave us alone. Thank you.
All right, next we have Mr. Jerry Cummings. Remember to state your name and your district.
I'm Jerry Cummings, evening councilman. First thing I'm asking for tonight from the councilman, our representative in our district, Kathy Hunt, be removed off of the board of our community building at Chapel. Conflict of interest for her to be on that board and be working with the Lumbee tribe. Because she's the one who started all this, stirred this process up over this building. Like Mr. Gerald said, when they first come out there and talking about the building, they didn't give the whole story about it. A lot of the people voted for a new building, but they wasn't aware they was wanting to tear down our existing building. Building's been in the, like he said, since the early 70s. A lot of history there. A lot of history there with that building. So I'm asking y'all, I'd still love to see, they said the money's been appropriated for a new building. I'd love to see a new building in the Union Chapel community. leave our existing building alone. I'm not asking them to take the money and use it somewhere else. Use the money in our community. All the other communities has got buildings, they've got stuff being put in their community, and we deserve it. But I'm just asking to leave our community building alone. I've been looking after this building for the last 15 years, spending my time, my wife, renting this building free of charge. Don't get nothing for it. It's just a service for our community. Yeah, so a lot of them is fighting to tear this building down. They've had no say so at all with this building. We went in there last year. Miss Kathy came in there with a new board from a little group from their church. They come in there and voted everybody off of the board it was on. Got enough there to do it that night. Nobody knew this building meeting was going on. But on the new board, we had one member was voted on. He wouldn't go along with them. May, November, they'd come right behind him and voted him off and put somebody else on there. So everything's been done, it's been illegal. It's behind backs. But like Ms. Gerald said, I'm asking councilman, vote, leave our building alone. Don't tear our building down. But I would still love to see a building somewhere. It ain't got to be in that particular spot. Still build a building in the Union Chapel community. But we deserve it as well as anybody else do. Thank you, councilman.
Next, we have Miss Amy Revels Locklear.
Hello, I'm not going to take much of your time. My name's Amy Rebels Locklear, and I've lived in the Union Chapel community for the past 23 and a half years, since getting married in 2001. This building doesn't hold any sentimental value to me. I just live in the community, but I'm raising children in that community, and I've used that building. So at the end of the day, what's right is don't tear the building down. These men put forth their time, their effort, their money, along with the ones who helped form it, their blood, sweat, and tears and money to have it. It's not just for Native people. It's for all people, all races, Hispanic, Black, white, Indian, it doesn't matter. You tear it down, it's going to follow tribal council, tribal rules, tribal regulations. It's going to be for Native people. You're going to have that card. What happens to the other people that want to use this building in the community? You got to do what's right for everybody. It's not just a handful, like you said, 40 to 60 people coming to vote. There's 1,900 people in this Burnt Swamp district. Those people have a voice. Those people should be able to be heard, not a handful of people making a decision for a whole community of people. If it's just one person, that's one thing. And like Mr. Jerry said, it is a conflict of interest for our council woman to be on this board and have a say so. Like he said, the money's there. It's appropriated. Use it. Do what you need to do, not on this parcel of land. At the end of the day, we got to do what's right. There's only one judge, and the decisions we make affect everybody. There's one looking up, looking down low. He's the only one, and at the end of the day, integrity and honesty is what matters, and doing the right thing is what matters. If you want to build a building, build a building. Don't build it in that parcel of land in the Burnt Swamp Association that they own. Those people built that building. Do what's right for everybody, not just a select few, because those 40 don't represent me.
Thank you for your community comments. Now we'll move on down to calendar review. Community comments are sign up at the beginning of the business meeting. If you don't sign up, you don't get to speak. The sheet's right there at the podium when you come in.
I make, let them speak.
So what we're going to do, like I told them, you got 3 minutes. No name calling, no getting irate or nothing, okay? 3 minutes. You can come to the podium one at a time. State your name, your district. You got 3 minutes to speak.
Y'all forgive me, I'm a little nervous. My name is Shayna Bullard. A lot of you have seen me online as Tuka Bird. Today I would like to talk about, economic development plans. If you got a fire in a burrow and a fire inside your house, which one you gonna put out first? You're gonna put out the one in your house first, correct? That's common sense. Okay, the fire in the borough represents your economic development plans. I understand, you're trying to expand the infrastructure. We get that. We're thankful for that. But the fire in your house is a little more important, which is opioid crisis that we have. We don't have enough resources. Our people are suffering. We don't have enough resources with housing. Let me tell you that we do. I just feel like funding is not where it should be. Granted, now I really do thank y'all for, the houses that y'all are building. But let's be real, these people will never fully own these houses. We are in a poverty community. We'll never own them. It's a targeted market. Like it's a scheme. Come on, let's be real. Then, with housing, what about these people that have their own houses, that have their own land? We're coming to you, we're asking you for help, and you're denying us. I mean, it don't make sense. I come to y'all myself and ask you for help. I work every day. I have a special needs child. I've never asked y'all for anything. Y'all told me I had to post a lien on my land for 5 years. 5 years for not even $3,000. That was ridiculous. That every time my family has come to you, my mama, my daddy, everybody has been denied. But it's like y'all's trying to slap a Band-Aid on everything and call it, fixed. It's pretty. Y'all's making everything look pretty. It's not. There's no reason why we should have 3 urgent cares in less than a 10-mile radius. We have 3 chicken restaurants within a less than a 3-mile radius. That it don't make no sense. Like, I understand when you're expanding the infrastructure, the first thing that y'all should think about is variety. What kind of variety can we give these people? What kind of variety can we give these people? But instead, y'all's trying to fix up other stuff, and y'all's really not trying to fix the people that we're coming to ask you for help. But I guarantee you, like, all honesty, I promise you, half of y'all are straight. Y'all's families are good. What about us as a community? We come to y'all, we ask y'all for help, and y'all turn us down all the time. If we don't have nothing to give back to y'all, y'all can't help us. I don't feel like we should have to give y'all our land when that money is already granted. And I get that there's guidelines and stipulations with the funding. I do understand that.
Ma'am, you have reached your 3 minutes. We thank you for your comments.
Thank you.
Next up. Come to the podium, make sure you state your name and the district that you live in.
My name is Timothy Locklear. I live in Robinson County in Parkland, North Carolina. I want to speak about a contract that y'all have with Terry Pate. I was a burnout.
Like I told her, no calling names.
Well, y'all helped me on a fire situation. I had a burnout. I ran like a chicken with his head cut off to keep from going to this certain mobile home company to get it. I know it was the lowest bid. I did everything in my power to keep from going to him because of the situations of his mobile home, the liabilities of his mobile home. I have a brand new mobile home that has fell apart. The unit on the wall has caught a fire. Once again, I was a burnout person. I have begged for help. I have called just about everybody that had helped me with the program at the Lumbee Tribe. They asked me to come and speak on the behalf. I have reached out to him. My warranty on my mobile home is almost up in like 5 months. I have contacted the factory. They told me to do a docket list. I have did everything. My walls are separating from the ceiling. My cabinets are split in half. My house is uneven. My doors are jammed. I've had to crawl out of the windows to get out of the house, to take the doorknobs off, to replace the doorknobs. I have called a plumber 5 times. My septic tank is not dug deep enough in the ground. It's coming back up through my drains. It's a brand new home. I don't know what else to do. They keep saying that we just stuck with the homes. I don't feel like it's fair if we pay. The payment might be $135, might be $25, but it's money that people have to work hard for. when it's programs, y'all paying this person all this money for a house that's not worth $40,000. And it's just not fair. It's just money that I feel like he's taking from Lumbee Tribe, and it's money that we should be able to have a decent house, not a house that's going to last us 6 months that we got to continue to pay on for 15 years. And so when we reach out, they just say contact him, but he's not doing anything about it. And I just don't feel like it's fair to the people that have been up under these programs that have got help. And his people that's still waiting on the list, when before I got help, I was on the list and I got dumped 10 times for a 90-day housing plan where I can have somewhere to stay with my child. So y'all building houses, but it's people that's waiting on lists for years and they never get a place to stay. It's still people out here with disability kids that still been on this list that has nowhere to go. And they getting jumped by people that don't even need the help. So that's what I'm here for. So I just feel like something needs to be done about the contract from this guy, because I'm not going to continue to pay for a trailer that I'm not even going to have for 15 months. I haven't even had it a year and everything is falling apart. I mean, everything, the towels popping up off the floor. The toilet was broke when he first pulled it out. The house is uneven. The unit's catching on fire. I done replaced all the batteries in the fire detectors and they still going off.
You are at your 3 minutes. We appreciate you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Next, we're going to do the calendar review, starting with March. Baker.
I feel it incumbent to say that, I feel empathy when our tribal members come and speak to us. But I think we also need to stress that we don't apply the laws, and we don't apply the programs. That we pass budgets. Tribal administration is responsible for how programs operate. We have done our duty in not only allowing for funding, but set up an administrative court so that when they have disagreements with administration, they can have a recourse. I can't review the work done by our administration. That court system can. And so I think instead of just letting members come and vent and we not being responsive, I think we need to have our liaison or somebody make sure that person leaves with how to file a petition in administrative court, because their tribal members here feel like they're not getting any redress from a grievance. And we have done our job and set up a court that has the authority to hear their grievance and make a decision, instead of just allowing them to walk away and feel like they have not been heard. So I just want to put that out there. I know that we're not to respond, but I want our tribal members to understand that their source of redress, if administration they don't feel is responsive, is that court system.
After Mr. Ricky, I'm moving to the calendar review.
Matt Roller's talking to her now, our compliance officer getting information. All of it.
So with March, we have 25th, we have economic development. Is that still good, Mr. Harold? Gerald?
Yes, well, I asked for an extended meeting for the 25th a few weeks ago. Got 3 items on the agenda. One, reports from the Res and the Unity Conference. Bluestone want to do a update to us on the money that we do a economic development study, and then the third is Josh's report. So we know how long that's going to take. So I asked for a extended meeting. I know education has a 7:30 meeting and ours is at 6:30. We need to figure out how we're going to handle both meetings. I don't think there's an ordinance that gives us a time frame for community meetings. Agree to possibly try to keep it within an hour on each committee, but this is kind of is overdue, and it needs to happen in our schedule. So I'm asking that that meeting be extended or figured out how we can put all 3 of those items in
You willing to back your meeting up to 6? Start with the res report and then let Josh come in.
I'm game with it, as long as we have enough here for a quorum. Up with the council, if they'll commit to being here. I'm game with 6 o'clock. Uh, the Vice Chair, are you game with it? That's kind of grinning, so that's a yes. So I'm game with it. So 6 until we get finished is the way I would like to put it. I don't know if Shaquana's got anything coming that night at a particular time, so it's up to her because she's following me, and I want her committee on.
I know Miss Chalker has scholarships coming up, so we do need to discuss that. So I guess you could see if she'd be lenient enough to go to 8 o'clock with it. But that's up between y'all two.
6 sounds good.
Don't have a problem with the 6, but if it lasts longer than 7:30, I don't know that to be a fact. I don't know how long this is going to be. Well, I don't know what. I understand what I'm saying. I just need to finish the business.
We'll change your meeting to 6 o'clock Monday night, and then maybe you can get a motion to extend your meeting that night. Okay. All right. So we have economic development Monday night on the 25th at 6 o'clock. Is there anything else for March? Moving on to April. All right, we got Miss Pam.
I'd like to do finance at 6:30, and we're having the travel committee before at 6, Mr. Alex. The travel committee at 6, April 2nd, and finance at 6:30, and housing 7:30.
We'll have Miss Wendy.
I would like to schedule A&R committee for April 9th at 7:30 p.m.
All right, Mr. Rudy.
Constitution ordinance, April the 8th at 6:30.
All right, Mr. Bobby. You're doing ethics.
29th, my community meeting, District 10, starting at 6.
Miss Chakawana.
Mr. Speaker, we want to have our consultation meetings with the Education Committee on the 11th, and I would like to have that just for education at night. I've reached out to all of the Indian education directors and liaisons, so all 4 counties will be here. They will do their presentations, and then we will follow up with questions, and that's how that'll run on the 11th.
At what time? 6:30?
6:30, yes, sir.
6:30 education on the 11th. And we got Mr. Gerald.
The 9th, after Wendy's meeting, economic.
She's at 7:30 if you want to do 6:30.
Economic development.
All right. Anyone else? All right, so I'm going to go back over the dates. We're going to do April the 2nd, starting at 6 o'clock, will be the subcommittee for the travel policy at 6, finance at 6:30, housing at 7:30 on the 2nd. Got CNO on the 8th at 6:30, and ethics will follow at 7:30. That's on the 8th. We got A&R on the 9th at 7:30. We got economic development at 6:30, and that is on the 9th. Ms. Chakawana has education at 6:30 on the 11th. That'll just be a single meeting with her. And Mr. Bobby has his community meeting in Rennert, District 10 on the 29th. And what time is that, Mr. Bobby? 6.
The Rennert Fire Department.
I can get a motion to
Entertain
adjourn,
a motion to adjourn.
and at the adjournment, we're gonna have a benediction.
Second.
All in favor? Stand for the benediction. Mr. Homer.
Heavenly Father, as we come to you this afternoon, we thank you again, Lord. We're able to come out and conduct this business with our tribe. Father, we ask you, Lord, to continue to bless and guide each and every one of us, Father. We ask you, Father, as we go our separate ways, traveling mercy and grace. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Thank you.